All right, so I think, yep, we are recording, so we are ready to get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our team call. It has been way too long. I don't even know how that happened, so I apologize, but I'm so excited to see your faces. I've missed you guys. And we definitely need to get back into a good routine with this. So again, I apologize for that, but I'm so happy to be here and so happy that you guys are here. I don't know how it's May, but it is. So whole new month. We're practically like halfway through the year. Like what? I don't know how that's happened. So, but this is an exciting month. We have two really awesome challenge packs on sale. I'm sure you guys know what they are by now, but just in case, we have the Size Challenge Pack and Insanity Max 30. I don't know. I know Laura has done Max 30. I don't know if either of you guys have, but that program is life-changing. It's amazing. And if you guys ever have questions, I'm sure Laura would say the same thing, but feel free to reach out to either one of us. We'd be happy to tell you a lot about the program, because at first glance, it's very intimidating, and I think a lot of people are afraid of it and think that they can't do it, and that is totally not the case. So, I'd be happy to share more about what that program is like. And there's actually a video that Danielle Natoni posted. I'll see if I can find it, where she kind of talked details about how the program works and why anyone can do it, why it's so valuable. You build physical strength, but you also, I feel like it's so much more mental than anything. It's amazing. Oh, it was in the champions group. Okay, I'll help find that. Thank you. I'll share it in our team page just in case you guys want to learn more about it. Another thing I wanted to point out for those of you who are going to Summit, if you hit Success Club 10 in May and in June, you will get an invite to the 80s Summit party, which is pretty cool. So I don't know what day that is, but definitely something to strive for if that's something you are interested in. And another thing, Carl is doing this contest where if you create a challenge group using the My Challenge Tracker app in the month of May, and you have at least 3 people in there, he's going to pick a winner once every week to win $500. So that's pretty cool. And I've been considering starting to try and use the app myself, because I have a couple people who don't use Facebook or who don't have Facebook. So I really love that they have that option now, because, some people just don't like social media. So it's kind of a great way for us to still help people. So I think that's that. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen. Where's that button? I noticed this in the news section, that they updated the whole Shakeology product toolkit section, and I just kind of quickly went through it, and it's actually freaking awesome. They updated the product tool guide, and they have, Danielle, I know you were doing your Shakeology challenge group, which was awesome, by the way. And I just happened to look through here, and there's a daily coaching guide for a challenge group, which actually has a bunch. I think this is a 3-week thing, but it's actually pretty interesting. So definitely something to keep in mind if anyone wants to, check this out and run a Shakeology group. I think it's pretty cool what they have in here, or just in general to run a Shakeology group. I think is very valuable to help people understand, why these shakes are the bomb. What else did I want to show you? I was listening. I randomly came across a video that Jimmy Nelson posted, and he raved. He really talked about this memory jogger. I don't know if you guys have used this, but I liked what he said about it, because it kind of changed the way that I necessarily think of who I'm going to put on here. He said that this isn't something that you use to find people to work with. Like the names that you put down on your memory jogger aren't necessarily someone that you're going to ask them like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Or like start building relationships with them. But these are people that you want to keep in mind to ask if they know of anybody who might be interested in doing what you're doing. So I don't know why I forget all the time to ask for referrals or to ask people, like if somebody says no, they're not interested, or not right now or whatever, it's okay to then turn around and say, do you happen to know of anyone who might benefit from this or who might be interested? Like, I'm happy to, like, I want to help people. I genuinely care, like whatever, say whatever you want to say. But I just really like that he pointed that out, and it reminded me that referrals can often be the best way to find people who might be looking for you. If somebody, refers somebody to you, and then boom, you have a good relationship started. So, and this is kind of cool. It just has a bunch of ideas and ways to prompt you to think of people that you might not have thought about otherwise to reach out to. So it's pretty cool. What else did I want to show you? I think that's it. So I'm actually going to keep my screen as shared because why won't that go away? Ashley mentioned wanting to talk about challenge groups, and kind of like my understanding of what you meant was along the lines too of developing a system where challenge groups are flowing nicely. You don't have to scramble last minute to get something started. Ahead of time what you want to be inviting to, and you want to be able to have enough time in advance to do the inviting. And I totally agree. I need a system like that as well. And I know I've talked about this and I've thought about this for a long time, and I still have yet to actually implement it. But I'm glad that you suggested this, Ashley, because I think it's going to really at least push myself to start doing this. And then I think it'll be a great idea for us to all kind of share ideas. If anyone has ideas on how to be efficient with our challenge groups and, keeping the momentum going as far as where we can put people, how we can help them, and how we can keep inviting more. So this is an example of a calendar that I made, where I put in these were kind of just things that popped up in my head, like, because Danielle had just done the Shakeology challenge. So I was thinking, and me and Danielle talked about this before too, I feel like it might be a good idea to start running a monthly Shakeology, like a 7-day Shakeology challenge, to introduce people to Shakeology, to encourage them to learn more about it. People have the option to order this 7 packets now, 1 of each flavor. So we can either give them the option to order that so they can try each flavor throughout the week, or if you want to buy the packets and then let them choose what flavors they want. Like there's a bunch of different ways they could do it. You can even run it without people having any Shakeology, and if they want to just learn more about it and maybe put it help them understand why it's so great, and then maybe they would place an order after they've learned more about it. But I kind of really like the idea of doing this every month. So I personally am going to try and start doing that at the first week of every month, because I feel like kind of as I go explain how I want my months to go, I think it makes sense to do that first, because then, if you look 2 weeks down at the 13th of June, I would like to start a 4-week Beachbody challenge group. So if you do the 7-day Shakeology challenge 2 weeks before that, if people are interested and they want to buy a bag, you can be like, well, guess what? I'm starting like a fitness and nutrition, accountability group on the 13th. It just gives them enough time to buy a challenge pack and then be ready to start with the Beachbody challenge if they want to. And then another thing is I love the Healthy Habits group, but this orange colored one, like a 5-day, basically that's just for a free group where you can make it whatever you want it to be. I kind of like I'm trying to remember. I think we've like heard about this in a couple of different training videos, that it doesn't always have to be clean eating. It can be whatever you want it to be, basically. So something that you feel like maybe you need, and you open it up to other people. Like, let's do this for 5 days. Like for me, I should probably organize my freaking house. So maybe I'll do like a clean one room a day challenge or something. I don't know. But, just a fun group to invite people to. It's free, and they can kind of get an idea of what groups like this are about, or just another way of building relationships. And then typically in the second or third week of the month is when I feel like it would be best to start inviting to the Beachbody Challenge groups and starting those. That way, the first 2 weeks of the month, you know that you need to be inviting people, reaching out to people, building relationships, and letting them know that that group is happening, to give them time to order and then get their packages in the mail. But also, with the coach sneak peek being towards the end of the month, it could potentially be a great way to have a Beachbody Challenge group started, whether it's new people added to it or people that you kind of, keep adding into groups along the way. You can let them know, like, hey, listen, I have this coach sneak peek where you can see what I do as what it means to be a coach, if anyone's interested. So it's people who may already have something, who may already have belief in the products that would be interested, or, you can obviously invite people who aren't in another group already to those types of things. But I feel like that type of flow would work well for a month, but I'm definitely open to hearing if anyone has any other opinions or any other ideas. And I plan on kind of opening this up to the team and allowing whoever wants to either, co-run a challenge group, or to place people into the groups. 'Cause I feel like there's some value in co-hosting, because it kind of, allows the host, I guess, to be from different people's perspectives. But I know also in this type of business, we really want to, people are attracted to us, they come to you as your customer for a reason. So it's obviously valuable for you to be primarily in the group too. So it's kind of, I'm always happy to co-run things with people, or I could run, I'm happy to do these by myself and you guys can place people in them. It's kind of basically whatever you guys want to do. One thing that I will say though is be careful with potentially getting yourself into too many groups and then not being able to keep up with them, which I've done many times in the past. So, it's okay to say no. It's okay to do less, get good at doing less, and then slowly building up to more. But you definitely want to be careful not to end up trying to do too much at once, and then kind of, losing sight of one of them and forgetting about one, or not basically giving your all to, you want to give value to all the groups that you run. So sometimes if you're trying to do too much at once, it can end up showing in what you're doing, or at least for me, it has. I totally sometimes forget that I have a group, and I'm like, shit, I haven't posted in that group in a couple days. So, but again, that's my own lack of organizational skills right there. So, but this is kind of what I am planning on starting for myself. And again, I'm going to open it up to the team. So whoever wants to either add people to them or whatever, you're more than welcome to. But does anyone have any other suggestions or ideas that you have either done and has worked for you, or that you plan on trying? Anybody? Ashley, did you raise your hand? Can you unmute yourself, or do I have to do it?
Good.
Oh, you can. Okay, cool.
Okay. So that was actually what I did today, all day long, was organize my next few months coming up. as far as groups and running free groups and the coaching, whatever. So, I don't know if you can read these.
Oh, water throwdown.
That's going on right now.
Nice.
So my next ones.
3-day coaching. Oh, I like that. Spring ahead to shrink down. That's cute.
So
Nice.
I have that. So I've decided, I told Laura earlier, but I've decided I'm going to pull the trigger and host a coaching 3-day thing like you guys had done before.
Nice.
It's terrifying. So I'm going to go back through and rewatch Laura's videos so I can make them my own version.
Awesome.
So that's that. And then I went, this will be July.
Look at you planning all the way to the July. Sizzling stuff. I like your names. You have.
Oh, that's June. That's June. And I have July too. It took me a while. I made like 18 names before I picked them.
Operation, I can't see the bottom. August all in. Oh, nice.
And then Healthy Habits for Hotties will be the whatever free group for that week.
That's awesome.
So, it's getting there. Because Anita Myron had said something in one of her videos about coming up with cute, catchy names to draw people in. And so I had found like generic ones that I was going to go with. I was like, those are lame. I could do so much better.
Awesome. Good job.
So I started those today. And then I started Eat That Frog today.
Yes.
Which is probably something you should probably reread if you're having organizational issues. Because I have been that way my whole life.
Me too.
And I feel like this guy is he's like speaking right into my face. Basically.
I know. I have the audio of that and I listened to it like close.
I wish I had the audio.
I listened to it a while ago, but I don't think you know how like you can listen to something and it doesn't really like do anything?
Yeah.
That was how the first time I tried listening to You Are a Badass, I was kind of like, eh. But then I listened to it again and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So I totally should listen to Eat That Frog again. You're right.
It's good so far. I read the first chapter so far. So I'm getting there. That in itself is a huge accomplishment. I haven't read and completed a book in years. I can't even tell you how long it's been. So getting through one chapter is getting there.
Well, congrats. I love your plan. I think that's awesome that you're going to do your coach sneak peek too.
I'm terrified.
That's a really big deal. So be proud of yourself. You're going to do awesome.
I'm still sitting at 0 for this month, so hopefully.
I know, me too, but it's okay. We're not even halfway through yet. We got time.
I know, thank goodness.
I know. The video that I was talking about that Jimmy posted, one of the things that he said, he was like, have you ever watched one of his videos when he completely goes on a rant? Like you can tell that he's annoyed and frustrated about something. So he's just like, I just need to say this. And it was kind of funny actually. But he basically was like knocking people in these types of like network marketing businesses who say they want to succeed, who like say they want all these big things with these businesses, but then they don't do the work. And he's like, if you have been on my team for like 3, 6, 9 months, a year, and you're not adding people to your team, then you can't tell me that you want these things because you clearly don't, because you're not doing the work. He's like, you need to talk to people. He's like, I don't care what you say to them. It doesn't have to be, about like inviting them to the business, but you just need to be having conversations with people every single day. He said, and I loved how he said, you want let's say your goal right now is to add, I don't know, like 2 coaches a month to your team. He's like, don't make that your goal. Make your goal the number of people that you're going to talk to and like make new relationships with, because that's how you have a better chance. Like if you set that goal high, then you have a better chance of getting those 2 people every month, which kind of made a lot of sense. But, sometimes you don't really think of it that way. And I am definitely at fault with that. I do not talk to nearly enough people. I'm like I still haven't figured out a system for like keeping up with conversations with people. I think it was in one of the Diamond Dash videos though. They had a really good idea where you take like, I don't know, a notebook or something, and you put a day of the week. Like you have one page for Monday, one page for Tuesday, one page for Wednesday, whatever. And then you write names on Monday. So kind of like go through the week and write names down. And then you look at that page every Monday, and those names on Monday, reach out to those people. Those names on Tuesday, which is obviously not the same people as Monday, on Tuesdays you can be like, oh, like I don't want to forget about this person, let me reach out to them, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I might try something like that just as a way to like not let people fall through the cracks. Anyway, I feel like I was saying something before and I lost it. But yeah, I think having a monthly plan is good, not only for us as coaches, because, you know, we know what to plan for and what to expect, but in the video that Anita Myron posted about it, she mentioned how it's also helpful for your audience or the people who are watching you, because they know what to expect from you too, almost. So like, let's say somebody, you know, follows you on social media, they're watching you post, they see that you are inviting to challenge groups, not over the top, but, you know, every once in a while, but they're too afraid to reach out to you, or they are hesitant to start this month. But if they realize that you're doing this consistently every single month, maybe one month they're going to be like, you know what, she's still doing that, and I'm going to do it this time. And they might jump on in with you. So you never know, but it's great. I mean, one of the main things that we're always taught for how to be successful is to be consistent. So, and that goes for everything that you're doing, you know, reaching out to people, running your challenge groups. Like, it's more than just what you do like behind the scenes. It's also what you want to portray on your social media, so people who are following you kind of, you know what to expect. I mean, you know, you don't want to be like boring, but you want to, you know, you want people to get excited about what you're going to talk about next, and be excited about the next group you're going to have because the one you had the month before was awesome. You know, that type of thing. So, and then another thing that I need to get better at myself too is you can plan your posts ahead of time for not only your Facebook page, but also for your groups, so that because I feel like one of my major downfalls is like, I'll get ready for a challenge group and I will like do awesome the first week or two, and then I stopped planning ahead, and then I all of a sudden don't have anything necessarily like valuable or whatever to post. So then I try to like come up with something, and then, you know, stuff just gets, you know, I get distracted way too easily, and then it ends up just kind of falling off, and it's totally my fault because I didn't plan ahead to have good content that I wanted to share with people. So definitely planning ahead is a huge, huge, huge thing that can help you too.
One of the things that I started doing is writing down who I've added for the day.
Yes.
So I go back and then write them in a notebook afterwards. And then I've also all my birthday people every day. So I write them a generic post on their wall, like happy birthday with some fun emojis. And then I do a PM to them and write, I have it like saved in my phone, so it's just generic, and I just enter their first name into the end of it. But
nice.
So it makes it sound like or seem like I've put thought into what I'm telling them, because it's a good little thing. But
well, yeah, that's a great way to get a message. Yeah, to start. But not only that, like when you start a Facebook message conversation with somebody, your newsfeed is going to show up more in their newsfeed, which is good too. So that you know, your conversation that you have with them is going to be your normal everyday conversation. But then you're sharing your fitness posts, your business posts, your positivity posts, whatever. And then they're going to all of a sudden start seeing that. And then they might reach out. They might bring it up to you before you even have to,
right,
you know, say anything. So that's a really great idea. And And let me see. So Laura in the chat box, and I love this question. What will you do for 60-day programs? Move them from one 4-week group into another. I toyed with this concept like so much because I feel like in so many training videos, successful coaches have said that 60-day programs, or excuse me, 60-day groups tend to not do as well after the first 30 days because I don't really know why, actually, to be honest. But from what they said in their experience was that the first 30 days usually goes well, but then it kind of like withers down the second 30 days. So I can't remember who said this in a video, but they mentioned how they only have 30-day groups. And then when they're coming to the end of one 30-day, they will obviously invite from that group to join the next group that's happening. And those people who are in that group can continue on into the new group and still, do a 60-day program, but it's not necessarily a full, like in the same group the whole time. And there are things that I like about that, and there are things that I don't. So I kind of feel like it would just have to, I don't know, like maybe we need to just try it, like try a 60-day one, see how it goes, and then try like a 30-day that we invite to another one. Because I think the reason that I hesitate about it, I mean, I know that the excitement of a new group is usually really good. Like people introduce themselves, like the first week is usually like people are motivated and excited. So the most posting always happens in the first week. So I see how it can be good for people who have already been in for 30 days, who are halfway through a program to like get hyped up again. But then I feel like when you're starting a new group, you want to start posting the same way that you did when you started the one before it. So it kind of almost becomes repetitive, and you don't want the people that have already went through the first group to then be like, well, I already heard this. You know what I mean? So I honestly, I don't know. I've struggled with that like wicked bad because I feel like it's so, when you start a new group, it's so similar every single time because you want to like touch on goals, you want to touch on introductions, you want to touch on water intake. Like there's a lot of the same things that because when you have new people coming in, like you want those people to see that, but you don't want it to necessarily be repetitive. So I don't know. I struggle with that. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I guess if we're not spreading ourselves too thin, you can run a 60-day and a 30-day, depending on, I don't know. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer to that. Does anyone have any like thoughts on that, just out of curiosity? I feel like it's almost one of those things that you just need to try it and see.
I asked because I struggle with the same thing. I mean, I did a 60-day group in January, February that was like that, like for money, the Lose It to Win It one. And because people had money on the line, it was fairly successful and people were active. But there were definitely people that dropped off. But I know that my people that were doing 60-day programs would have been annoyed if I had started them over in another group. So I have an evergreen group that I add I graduate people to once they've completed their first program. And the people in that group are doing like all sorts of different things and are at different stages and I do mini challenges with them, etc. But they're just kind of like my OGs that have been around forever and don't want to do like individual challenge groups anymore.
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of in the same place with the 60-day stuff. Like,
wow.
I don't.
Then you run not the problem, but because one of the things I don't like to do is I don't want to suggest the same program to everybody. I mean, I think it's fine. Like I plan on doing Insanity Max 30 next. So I'm going to, talk about what I love about that program. But if someone messages me, I'm not going to be like, you should do Insanity Max 30 with me. I want to know, you want to find out what they're going to succeed in. And sometimes it's going to be a 60-day program. Sometimes it could be a 90-day program. It could be 21 days. Like, you don't know. So then you have this challenge group, and some of them are going to be done in potentially 21 days, whereas the other people are going to be done in 60. So you could keep that open. I wonder if that Yeah, I don't know.
I think we need to have like a check-in point halfway through and take people out that are done or that want to move on to something else, and maybe leave it open for the people that are, you know, sticking with it. I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe it could be left open, but and like obviously like you as the host are going to still be posting in there, because that's another thing that we need to remember to do is to post as if you are a challenger, like share your meals, share your sweaty selfies, share recipes, like like, you know, act like you're a challenger too, so that people can watch like when you're struggling, or like see that you're getting it done and whatever. So maybe like the second half would be, I mean, if you still can think of valuable content to be sharing, then that's great. But I kind of almost feel like by that point, it becomes just more motivational and like, you know, learning how to stick with it anyways. So that's a good point. You could just leave it open for until everyone's completed the program. But maybe not necessarily, I mean, you'd still be posting in it, but it wouldn't necessarily be like the same as the first 30 days, I guess. And then, you know, you can always let people know who are finishing a program that they can repeat it and stay in, or if they want to join the next one. The only thing about that is you run the risk of all of a sudden having a lot of challenge groups.
Yeah. And I've been there.
Yeah.
I've just recently cleaned house and gotten rid of a bunch of them. I had a lot for a while.
I know. Gosh, I'm terrible at them. It's so bad. I need to get better. I mean, yeah, I guess the only way to really find the best answer for that is to, I guess, try it. I think it's good. I think I agree with you. Like, I don't know how I would feel being added to a new group when I'm halfway through. I guess, you know, if you're going to have a new group each month, I think it's worth asking your current group if they want to bump out and into the new one, or if they want to stay. But I don't really agree with necessarily all of a sudden leaving those people behind because they didn't want to join the new one, because I feel like that's kind of not effective.
It's also kind of like not the right message to be sent, that like, oh, you should be done after 30 days, now you can quit and start something new. Like if it's a 60-day program or 90-day program, like they should be following that full process, which means the challenge group should support them through that process. And I don't want to like, oh, 30 days are up, sorry, now you just finish it on your own, or you can join this new group maybe, or, you know, it's confusing. I think it's a weird message to send, but
yeah, I agree. I mean,
so many coaches that make videos are talking specifically about the 21-day fix. Like I hear fix challenge groups constantly, and I don't really hear people talk about multi-program or non-fix challenge groups.
I know, which is very strange to me. I mean, I understand why those programs are so valuable, but I don't know. I totally agree with you. I feel like that's probably why people mostly do 30-day ones, because you can do the whole 21-day fixed program within that time. But that's like literally the only program that's that short. So like, what the heck are people doing with all the other people?
Right. And like the corporate challenge groups, like the Hammer and Chisel one, and then the, you know, those ones have always been the full length of the program.
You know what? You're right. That's a good point.
I've been toying with the idea. I'm starting a 60-day group soon, because I'm going to be doing Hammer and Chisel. And I was kind of struggling with the same thought, because all of my customers are doing different programs. So a lot of them are doing 21-day fix, and I wasn't sure what to do with them for 60 days, but I'm thinking of just asking them to commit to some sort of 60-day plan, whether it be 21-day fix and then, you know, another round of 21-day fix, or, you know, even if it's not full for the 60 days, if it's not all Beachbody programs, but just commit to some sort of plan for 60 days that includes their program. And I'm thinking about I did a 21-day group last month, and it was open to people doing a program or people that haven't or that are interested. And I'm thinking about doing the same thing for the 60-day group, but just asking them to work with me and commit to some sort of, fitness plan. Because I'm finding that a lot of the people who weren't doing a Beachbody program, having them in the group with people that were, it kind of switched their mind, and a lot of those people are coming around this month. I've got 3 that were in my group last month that are like ready to buy challenge packs now. And I think it's because they've seen other people day in and day out, and they're seeing what the program does and what it kind of, they're getting a feel for it from other people. So I'm actually thinking about not running any groups that are just for my customers and just allowing, I guess maybe I'll be selective and just allow people who I think might be, on the fence or something like that. But I'm wondering if you guys have had any experience with that
I've never run a group that was 100% challenge pack purchasers.
Me either.
Okay.
I've always had mixed people, and the one that I ran in January was the only time I ever had rules. And its only rule was you had to buy a challenge pack to be entered in for the cash prize, but you could still be in the group and be part of the challenge. You just couldn't win the pot because I was putting in $10 per person who bought a challenge pack. So I wasn't going to put in money for people that hadn't bought anything. But that's the only time. Every other group I've ever run has had people in there that were doing, and it is you're totally right. It's a huge benefit. I just had a girl that has been like anti-Shakeology for months join my Evergreen group, and she's asking people in there, she sees them posting their shakes, like, oh, you really like it? Oh, is it really good? So like, she might take my word for it, but now she's seeing it, and now she's asking more questions about it. She's like, well, maybe I'll try it. Do you have any samples? So, it definitely helps the people that are on the fence sort of see what other people are doing and get more exposure to it.
Not only that, that kind of rolls back to what Janelle Summers said was how help them anyway. Like I've never not put someone I feel the same way. It feels uncomfortable to me to say to somebody, well, you can't be in one of my fitness challenge groups because you didn't buy anything. That's not helpful to anybody, and that's not people are gonna label you as one of those money hungry salespeople or whatever. You're not willing to help them. So I totally agree with you, and I think that's a great idea to open it up because it gives people exposure to what a challenge group is like. It shows that you care and that you want to help them no matter what. And like you said, they then become exposed to other people who are doing programs, who are maybe they're going to see that these people with these 30 minute 30-minute programs are getting exercise in a lot more frequently than they are, and maybe they'll realize, well shit, maybe I should get one of these and maybe I'll be more consistent. Or they can see that people are drinking the shakes and then start to, like what Lara said, start to spark more interest. So I think that's a great idea. And I would always, it kind of surprises me a little bit when people limit who gets added to groups. I know Elizabeth Hartke did say, this was a while back, but that she only sells challenge packs, but the way that she kind of explained that was not because she wants to make more money, not because she wants people to just buy stuff, but because she believes so strongly in the value that it has, which is true. And I think we all do as well, but I personally wouldn't let that be a deciding factor on who I help and don't help as far as challenge groups go and stuff like that. So I totally agree and think that that's a great idea to invite whoever in there, because it all comes down to helping people on their journey. And then, who knows, maybe someday they'll turn into a rock star coach or a really good customer, or nothing at all. But at the end of the day, you're helping them get healthy, and that's the most important. So
there's so many people that are intimidated and on the fence about even starting to exercise and eat right anyway. And so when you add on top of that a $140, $160 investment, it's And if you can at least start to get them like, oh, walk 30 minutes a day. Oh, here's a mini challenge of sit-ups. Oh, you know, kind of a couple people that are doing Couch to 5K that are now like, oh, I'm getting sore every day. Maybe I'll try the shake step. So like get them moving in some way, shape, or form, and get them involved in, you know, clean eating in some way, shape, or form. And then the potential to invest in a program, I think, is a little bit more realistic. But not everyone is just coming out of the gate like ready to spend a ton of money on something I have never done before. So
yeah. Plus, one of the things that a Chalene Johnson podcast I just listened to with Natalie Jill, they're talking about how people can get really intimidated, kind of like what you just said, Laura, how, you know, getting started can be scary. And, you know, some people are okay with starting with nutrition in a fitness program and they like are ready to go. But then other people are like, well, I have to start exercising and change my eating all at once. Like, holy crap, I don't even know where to start. So if you know, have them and you encourage them to, you know, do small exercises first, or like change your eating first and worry about exercise later or whatever. As soon as they start doing something, they start to feel better, they start to become more confident, and they start to crave more of it. And then they might want, whether it's, you know, a Beachbody program or not, they are just going to start feeling better, and it's a ripple effect. Like the more you are consistent with doing stuff like this, the better you feel, the more you want more of it, and it just kind of becomes a craving, basically.
And the less isolated you feel. I mean, I don't know about your customers, but I tend to attract people that have never done things like this before in their lives. And for the people in their lives, are also not doing things like this. And so when they enter a challenge group with other people that are being active and trying something new and getting healthy, all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait, I'm not alone. Like, I have all these inspiring people around me. Okay, I'm going to open up a little bit more. I'm going to be a little bit more daring. I'm going to be a little bit more willing to try things. But so many of them are surrounded by friends and family that are like also completely oblivious to health and fitness. So that first step is super scary because people are like, what are you going to do? What are you going to spend money on? That's crazy. So
I also think, and I think Laura touched on this, like when you show somebody that you're going to help them anyways, even if they're not buying a product from you, it builds trust, and they realize that you're not just trying to sell a product, that you are really trying to help and that you believe in these products. So if you're helping them anyways, I think that kind of eases that fear of, and I think so many people off the bat have that fear, like, oh, you're just trying to sell something to me, or they go into the conversation skeptical. And I know I did the same thing to Jackie when we started talking, so I get it. So I think kind of starting slow and just inviting them and supporting them on their, you know, to reach their goals, whatever they may be, makes them realize and kind of relax a little bit and realize, like, okay, she's not just trying to, like, you know, stuff this down my throat and sell something. And I've had a few customers like reach out who have now bought challenge packs and thanked me for, you know, being patient and helping them anyways. And so I think that's kind of paying off for sure. So
yeah, huge. I mean, I said it in the comments, but I just recently realized we're now in month 5 of 2016, and I don't have a single Success Club meet that was started in the same month that I got the point. So they were all like these slow burns. Some of them were from last year. There were people that were in free groups. There were people that I was just forming, communicating with, helping along the way, and then eventually they come around. So I don't, you know, sure, I'd like some quicker hits, but it just happens to be that, you know, it takes people a little bit longer to warm up and trust you. I mean, it's a big investment for some people. Not everyone just has that money laying around.
And it's such a sensitive subject anyways, you know, trying to get in shape. People are sensitive to that anyways. So to open up their wallets and their, you know, personal fears at the same time it's a lot at once. So yeah, that seems to be working for me. I had another question for you guys too, because I'm thinking of, well, I'm planning to start 2 ongoing groups, and I'm not really sure what to expect or how often I should be posting, but I'm kind of trying to go with, I know Candace had posted a while back about like start doing something different. And I know Jackie had mentioned it a couple calls ago too, like, just do groups that aren't necessarily related to Beachbody. So I'm gonna be starting a gardening group because I'm starting my own first garden, and I thought, although it's not directly related, it's gonna attract people who are interested in eating clean, so that may open up the conversation a little bit, but that obviously needs to be not just a 21-day group, or so that's going to be a seasonal group. And then also a Wedding Warriors group that I was thinking of running, for at least a few months through the wedding season. But I'm just wondering if you guys have any tips or advice on running, ongoing groups, like, how often you post, or, kind of how to keep people engaged for longer stretches of time.
I don't have any off-topic groups. Well, I mean, it's not specifically Beachbody, it's fitness and health. My evergreen group is sort of a combination of longtime customers and discount coaches, and then people that are thinking about buying but not ready to buy yet, and that kind of thing. But it's really, just exercise and nutrition focused. We don't really talk about Beachbody a lot unless, it comes up. Obviously, I post my workouts in Shakeology, and other people do too. But I found what works, and I've had that group for a long time now, and it has had peaks and valleys, and I've found what works is having some kind of schedule and like weekly, either a theme or a mini challenge going on. Like the last 2 weeks, I did a personal development mini challenge with them, where I was like posting a word of the day or a quote and asking them to sort of react to it and have a conversation, and people have conversations about that. And this week I'm doing a physical mini challenge where they have to do exercises and do them all for a minute and whatever. But if you have some sort of schedule laid out for you, you don't even need to post every day. You can kind of say, okay, here's this week's theme, and kind of get things going, or here's the question of the day or the thought of the week or whatever. And then that gets people to think about something to post. Otherwise, you're going to have like dead space because people are not going to think, what to post on an ongoing basis.
I love that. That's super helpful. That
really
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, I mean, for my group, every once in a while, I'll throw in like a little incentive, and it's always something super small. Like I'll send them like a little hairband or like a Shakeology bottle or something for participating in a mini challenge for a couple weeks or something like that. But that keeps it interesting too, and keeps people sort of engaged.
Yeah, I've been using, for my shorter groups, I've been using, I actually learned this from Laura before I signed up as a coach. My first challenge group, Laura was running, and I think you tallied participation points and had like a small gift or something, and I've been doing the same, and I find it really does help people. It kind of it engages them. They're more apt to try and stick with it. And I've been using the Fix8 cookbook. I think it's like $14 for us as coaches, and people seem to love that. I've gotten a lot of feedback like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is so great. And it's really not, that expensive. So
Definitely. Awesome.
Yeah, and, Audible gift cards too, which I did for like the personal development training last week. I sent an Audible gift card, and
that's a great idea.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and I just emailed it directly to her. I didn't have to ship anything. It was like a super easy.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
That's a good one as well.
Cool.
You can send a specific book, or you can just send a gift card.
Good to know.
That's awesome.
Trying to think if there's anything. Does anyone else have any other questions or ideas?
Is everybody going on Saturday or no? Or Sunday, I mean, to Sarah's?
I wish. I'm working. I know. I'm sad. I really wanted to do that photo thing.
I wish too, but I'm a long ways away. So.
One quick thing I wanted to say that I find myself doing a lot, and I don't know if any of you guys do the same, but I thought I'd just say it just in case. One thing that I find myself getting caught up in is learning things like watching videos, listening to audios, watching top coaches or successful coaches or coaches that I like a lot, and like going to their pages, seeing what they're doing, like reading something or whatever, like doing a lot of training, but not leaving myself any time to actually apply any of it. And that is like, I mean, it's great to be hungry to learn things and to want to learn and to look for ways to help you get better at doing certain things. But if you never take the time to schedule or to make the time to apply what you're learning, then it kind of almost means nothing. And I feel like that's I don't know why it kind of like clicked in my mind when I was getting ready for like what I wanted to talk about on this call. Because I feel like I've been so like distant, and I don't even know how it happened or why. I like don't feel, I don't know, something's been like weird with me, and I feel like
it started with your injury.
You're right, it totally did. Because that threw me off, and I'm like wicked uncomfortable with myself right now. And I'm going to Vegas next week, and I don't even want to go. I mean, I do, but like I don't. I'm ridiculous. But that's actually a good point. That's totally when it started. It screwed me up. But I let it, and I shouldn't have. So, my own fault. But anyway, it's great to learn things, and I highly encourage you to, do your personal development. Look for videos that focus on what you want to learn and get better at, but just take the time to do it too, to apply it and, to put it to action, because action is how you get shit done.
So I started talking to Laura about it already, but I have created a binder now, and I printed out a whole slew of stuff. So this has my current program.
Oh, nice.
And then this is like what do you want to do? What are your goals and shit? the new vital behaviors. So it's like something they can actually flip through. The ranking chart. And then eventually, today I started with like programs.
Nice.
And so I started with 21 Day Fix.
That's awesome.
So it has like the food chart, and it's getting there.
I love that. That's on my to-do list. I'm such a binder person. It's been on my to-do list for a while, so I'm gonna get on that.
The new Shakeology sheet that she was talking about.
Perfect.
So, and then they have like what's the glycemic index? What makes it like? This is the trifold.
Yeah.
I just printed everything out. This is the comparison for like sweet treats to our shakes.
Nice.
And so far I only have coffee in here, but I'm going to put all the rest of the other flavors. So and then I have like the 3-day refresh and all the inserts that come in with the Shakeology. So I have tons of those still. So I feel like I'll be giving those out to people when I meet with them, or at least the Shakeology survey, or something like that.
That's a really good idea.
So the concept is being developed. It's taken me a while to figure out something that I can stick to and keep up with, and that I actually feel like I'm doing something with. And so far, this seems to be it.
Good. Well, that's awesome. I know. I feel like I've been trying to keep everything on the computer because I want to be able to look back and access it versus because you know how on a computer, if you can't find something, you can search and it finds it. So I'm afraid of notebooks and binders and being shit, I don't remember where that is, and then having to flip through everything to find it. But I'm starting to wonder if I need to just try it anyway, because that's how I was when I learned in school. I had to write stuff down. That's how I've always been.
This is all of my ads. I just tear my sheet out every day and I just retransfer them into here.
Yeah, I might have to start doing that too.
And then
I'm thinking that's gonna help me.
The other section is birthday messages.
Oh.
So
I've
those
been
are all the
feeling
people that I sent actual messages to.
I've been feeling like that same thing is going to help me. That's why I want to do it too, because when I'm talking on Facebook with people, I feel like I'm all over the place, like clicking through to get information, that if I could be having the conversation and then have a binder in front of me where I can just flip instead of like clicking between tabs, and I just feel like I get lost and all over the place
Right.
and just kind of scattered. So I really like that idea too.
I personally have always been a visual person. I used every single color Sharpie available whenever I needed to color coordinate anything. So it's like having something like this where I can be like, oh, let's go to the pink tab. It'll be easy.
Yeah, that's so smart. I need to do that. Thank you for sharing that. I have like, oh,
I know. I have like a whole pencil case full of just colors. Oh. And I got a planner too.
nice.
$10 at Hobby Lobby. And so I've been like keeping track of what times and what my posts have been.
That's smart.
So it's something.
Awesome. I know. I got the freaking passion planner and I've barely used it. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
Me too. That's on my to-do list too.
I just, within the last 2 weeks, I just had to do all this shit.
Yeah, I think that's what I need. I need like a day to like organize.
Flush your brain out.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, those were awesome ideas. Oh my gosh, this was so great.
I know.
I'm
This
glad we
was
were able to
way
do this.
overdue.
Huh?
This was way overdue.
I know, seriously. I'm trying to think next week. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I might have to, the only day I might be able to do a call is Monday, but I'm working, so it might have to be a 9 o'clock call. Is that
That's
okay?
fine.
That's okay with me.
All right. Cause I'm going away, so. All right, but I'll like post about that details, but it's definitely going to happen. I'll just have to get myself out of work on time and may show up a little bit late. But
One thing that we had briefly chatted about was maybe making like a whole team schedule of like when, I know that that's hard with yours, but maybe attempt to pre-plan like calls and our coaching webinars and whatever.
yeah, I
For,
agree with that.
for all of us as a group. Maybe have like a Google Calendar that we can all have access to or something.
Maybe, or I can try to like on Sundays I can do a poll for like the days and times that I'm available, and then you guys can vote. I don't know. Would that be better, or do we want? Because I mean, I can try to do a whole month in advance if I have my schedule out. It just depends. I know
Right.
it's such a pain in the ass.
Well, I was
wish
thinking,
I had a normal schedule.
yeah, maybe not for the call specifically, but for all the groups that we've been planning, so we know when everybody's groups are taking place.
Got it. Yes. Oh yeah, I totally agree with that.
Next week is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is I'm going to do my coaching thing.
Nice.
So stay tuned and watch for the invite.
Yay. That's so great. I love that you're doing that.
I'm terrified.
You're really awesome. I don't really know how to use Google Doc, but we can maybe, is there a calendar?
Katie does. Katie's really good at that shit.
All right.
Make her do it.
Well, hopefully everything's okay with her.
I know. She was
but
saying yesterday she didn't feel good. We talked for a little bit, but I don't. This was the first I had heard about that. I was like, what the?
No, that's.
It was an ovarian cyst.
Oh,
Oh.
I mean, not that that's good, but
Right.
that's better than an appendix
Mhm.
issue. So yeah, maybe I'll message her and see if there's like I was trying to actually look and see if Google Docs had a calendar. layout and I couldn't find it, but I was at work and those computers are weird and I don't think it was letting me see everything. So
I can try and mess with it too and see what I come up with.
okay, cool. Awesome.
All right. Well, good.
Thank you guys so much for being here and for offering so much awesome insight and ideas. And I just missed you guys. So yeah, hopefully. So yeah, next week looks like I'm pretty sure the only day I can do it is Monday. So see you in a couple days.
Sounds good.
All right. Have an awesome night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye. Thank you.